What's going on, guys? Welcome to RabidMining YouTube channel, and today we're checking out the Jasminer Q as well as the X4-1U. Now these are both ASIC miners. I think they're actually more of an FPGA miner, but we're going to go with ASICs here because that's what everyone knows them as. The Jasminers, the super efficient ETC hash as well as ETH hash miners. So we are going to jump into the workstation, have a look at these two ASIC miners just to see how they are performing in the current bear market. Now, it's been a while since we talked about these things, and the biggest con, in my opinion, about these two miners is the 5 gigabytes of memory. Now, if you're, totally bullish on ETC, then obviously you're good till about the end of 2028 or so with these miners. Now, if they change the DAG even lower again, they could do that. I highly doubt it, but you never know. Also, FW is supposed to be dropping their DAG size below the 4 gigabyte mark as well. So then that would also give another coin and longevity across this ASIC miner. But regardless, the biggest con is that 5 gigabytes, and it is good till 2028. So looking at that, we're going to look at some profitability and stuff. The prices are obviously down across most mining hardware these days. So right now is honestly probably, if you're looking for anything, now's the time to start buying things. ASICs, everything is dumping. Then we get into that bull run and everyone's like, oh, how did you get it so cheap? How did you do it? Well, right now is when you do it. All right, so I'm over at the Jingle Mining website. This is where, if you are looking for a Jasminer, you can pick them up. I do have links in the description, and code RabidMining will grant you an additional 1% off your orders. But here you can see all their different miners. So we're going to start with the X4-1U. It looks like it's coming in currently at about $1,099, so $1,100. And this used to be in the bull market, like, I don't even remember what it was, 4,000 or 5,000, I think. Maybe it was higher. I can't really remember. But looking at its reported hash rates, it's about 520 mega hash at 240 watts. Now, depending on your ambient temperature, if it's pretty warm where you are, you will more likely see probably around the 290 watt range, which I did find in my videos, depending if, like I said, if it's warm and those fans are ramped up a bit higher, or if it's nice and cool, you can drop this down to about 250 watts. And then again, the hash rate is 520. So if we actually look at the hash rate of the X4-U, we can see that we're averaging 575 watts. This is the number I always go by, is the 24-hour average hash rate at the pool, because that is the amount of shares you're sending. That is what you're getting paid out of the pool. So this is actually hashing more than what the website is telling us. 575 on the average, when again, we're only seeing what here? 520. So it's a nice boost in hash rate. Usually with these Jasminers, that's what I have found is what their normal hash rate is. We are getting, a decent amount more than what it's telling us. Now let's bounce on in to the Jasminer X4-Q. And if you don't know the difference between the Q and the 1U, the Q is very quiet. You cannot even hear this thing run at all. And also this thing is about twice the hash rate of the previous one. And this one does come in at about $2,200 here, $2,199. Now it's saying stock output is 370 watts. Now this might be on the efficient mode setting, because I usually have mine all cranked up, because mine uses about 500 watts, not 370. So this, in my case, is absolutely wrong. So it does use more power. Scrolling down here, it's saying 370, so a little bit more than what we saw up here. So, oh no, that's the same number. Okay, never mind, cancel that. But anyway, my testing, I was using 500 watts with this beast, and it is saying the hash rate is about 1.04 gigahash or 1,040 mega hash. Again, for only 500 watts. That thing is extremely efficient. And then the downfall was that 5 gigabytes of memory. So let's jump into the pool now to see how this thing is actually hashing. And here you can see 1.12 gigahash. So 1,120 mega hash is what this thing is ripping through at only 500 watts. Extremely, extremely efficient machine here. So this in the corner may have caught your eye. Some of you may be familiar with it, some of you may not. But let's actually have a peek of this. And if you are looking at a Jasminer, maybe one of these, I would probably say skip them and go straight to this guy right here, because oh my gosh, like, okay, let's look at this. First off, it's $3,000, $3,100. So like not even $1,000 more than the previous Q version. This is the X16-Q. So I'm assuming it should be quiet like the other ones, but again, it has like an extra 1U chip, but it's also based on a new X16 chip series. So it's going to have 3 of those ASIC chips, but a newer version to make it more efficient. So let's just take a look at estimated numbers here and kind of gather what we know about the previous ones and guesstimate this one. So this is supposed to do 1.8 gigahash or 1,845 megahash. Now, I've always seen them do better. So this thing may push out around 2 gigahash, maybe 1.9 something here. But, you know, I'm thinking closer to the 2 gigahash mark. That's insane. Another big bonus, 8 gigabytes of memory. This thing is going to last quite a while on ETC hash and FW when they drop that DAG and other ETH hash coins as well. As you can see, it supports everything ETH hash as well as ETC hash. So it's pretty insane. And then the working power consumption, this is saying 630 watts. I'm going to guess it's going to be around the 800 watt mark. I don't know for sure, but you know, 2 gigahash at around 800 watts. That's a pretty insane efficient machine. I want this thing. I really believe in ETC. I believe it could hit $350, $400 the next bull run. This thing is going to ROI in record time, especially at the stupid cheap prices it's at right now. But regardless, you know, depending how you mine crypto, you might be looking at this saying it's not worth it. But that's not how I'm looking at it. And for a quick idea on 8 gigabytes of ETC, that is about 2038. So we got a long time. This thing is going to blow up probably before it's no longer able to mine ETC anymore. So this thing will, you know, live its lifetime or then some if it's made super great. I don't know. I have not had one blow up on me. I'm just saying this is a long time to have 8 gigabytes worth of VRAM on a certain coin with a super efficient ASIC. But I thought I should point this out. It is good till March of 2038. All right, so let's have a quick look at profitability of the X4-1U. So 575 megahash at 290 watts, 11 cents per kilowatt hour. So I'm coming down to here on ETC. I feel it's going to be a strong coin moving forward. That is $1.66 before power or 89 cents after power. So we can see we're getting 0.0751 before power here. So that's how much you'd be yielding per day. Now you have to take your power off. Now I just divided this by 50 just to cut it in half because, you know, it's not really using half of it in power because it's so efficient. But I cut it in half anyway, just to give you an idea what it will look like if ETC was to hit like $350 to $400. So if ETC hit $350, which I really think it has very likely to do, that is $13.44 per day right now after power with selling my crypto that it will hit in 2025 with that bull run. That's pretty insane profitability to think about. All right, and now we're going to take a look at the Q version. So the nice quiet one has more hash rate, uses about 500 watts in my testing. And remember, yes, I know as profitability comes up, more hash rate will come online, more Jasminers will come online, even GPUs may start seeing profitability, hash rate will go up. But, you know, why would you mine with a GPU when you have these super efficient machines? Just saying, you're going to make way more. Regardless, here we are with ETC with the Q version, and that is $3.23 before power and $1.91 after power in profitability in today's current market. Yes, we're in a bear run. Numbers don't look super fantastic. Now, here we are, dividing that by 2. And again, we did not use half of our coins to go to power, but so I am actually removing more coins than I actually should. But we're still doing the 50% here. So this thing would be making, if ETC hits $35 or $350 in the next bull run, I will have $26.18 per day worth of mining for the next 2 years leading into that. ROI will be very easy to obtain, especially picking them up at dirt cheap prices. All right, and now we're going to go into 100% speculation mode because it's not released yet. It's coming, I believe, March or something like that, just a couple months from now, but it is releasing. That is the X16. And basing what I know on the previous models, I'm going with 2 gigahash at about 800 watts. You know, maybe it'll be more megahash, maybe less power. Who knows? This is what I'm guessing it's going to hit. And as we can see at 11 cents per kilowatt hour, $5.78 per day before power, and $3.67 after power with my power price. Now, again, I did the exact same thing. I sold 50% of my coins off this. So I divided this by 2 and I stacked that up. So that actually works out to be $46.74 per day. And this thing was coming in around $3,100. At $46 a day, that is a 66-day ROI. A little over 2 months. That's pretty crazy to think about. All right, guys, so there is a look to see how well the Jasminer's X4-Q and the X4-1U have been performing in this current bear market. It's not too bad. Yes, the numbers aren't anything spectacular, but when we do lead up into that next bull run, I think we're going to have some great days ahead. So what do you guys think on this whole operation? What do you think about that X16? I feel 2 gigahash at around 800 watts is probably a pretty safe bet. Now, a lot of unknowns. Will ETC hit 350? A lot of people say, you know, ETC is dead, it's dying, and a whole bunch of other people say ETC is going to explode. I'm one of the ones that do feel ETC will see some nice gains moving into 2025, but we cannot tell the future. We don't know what coin's going to pump and what won't, but if it does, you know, it's going to be some great times ahead. Anyway, let me know your thoughts and comments on the Jasminers. If you guys have one, planning on one, thinking about one, or just still up in the air, let me know in the comments. I will see you all in the next one. Rabid out.